Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's edition of the 5D News. I'm very happy to be sharing this show with all of you. Happy June 17. How are you, Sophie?
I'm good, thank you. How have you been this week?
So far, so good. So far, so good. We're going to talk about all the important alignments as well as the politics and a few of your own questions from the community. So this is going to be a very interesting show. But we're having the solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere on the 20th this year, or depending on the time zone where you guys at. So we're going to talk about all of that. So I feel like a shift of energy, basically a positive one, and Jupiter just entered Cancer. So I'm feeling very hopeful. And I want to say also that I briefly touched upon the Jupiter square Saturn and Neptune in the past show, saying that it's kind of a tension. So we're starting with that on the politic front here on the show, because of course the astrological alignment also usher kind of changes in the world. So I know a lot of you wanted us to talk about the conflict between Israel and Iran. So this is also really, really part of Jupiter and Saturn, especially because it's a square between Jupiter and Saturn. So it's a square between like old school, the old guard, the new guard, more conservatism versus more progressive politics. So I believe this is what's underneath the conflict. So we're going to ask the cards. And I believe this is important for us to touch upon because if you watch mainstream media, and sometimes it's a bit unavoidable, you probably have the idea that we're on the verge of another world war. So, but I don't think that's the case. So we're going to ask the cards, and let's hope I'm right. So, okay, I watched a video, so let me share that with you, from Alexis Cossette-Trudel, which is a French truther. So if you speak French, I highly recommend watching his video. So he touched upon that on the video, and he's saying here that it's kind of a false conflict between Israel and Iran because, well, basically he says that it's kind of unleashing a new sort of politic leadership that is going to be less conservator. What's the word I'm looking for? Conservative, whatever. Less this word. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. So basically, let's start there. Is this a real nuclear conflict between Israel and Iran, or rather like a signaling of some sort?
Okay.
Because it's an air attack only that was, let's say, sent between back and forth between Israel and Iran. And apparently it's on military nuclear facilities only. And we know that most of their facilities are underground. So let's ask the cards. Is this a real nuclear conflict or conflict between the two countries, or is this some kind of signaling?
Okay. Okay, we have crossfire.
Yeah, definitely.
And we have the card of secret and setup. So there's something there for sure. And we have purge and crossfire. Let's see a little bit more what we have with tarot. No, it's I don't think it's true. I don't think it's I don't think it's true at all. I think that there is the old and the new. Yes, that I agree, because we do have purging the old, purging the limitations. So far it's not really revealing why they would do that. So that's where I want to take more cards. But we do have a lot of secrets are going to be revealed. We have the moon and then the sun, set up and secret, dark night of the soul, and we have revelation with the card of the key. I'm just going to see what is this revelation that we're going to have. Three of Pentacles, Ace of Cup, and Nine of Cup. I really think that this is to activate a big reset of their politics system.
Mm. That's so interesting because that's kind of what Alexis is saying in his video. And he spends a lot of time talking about how Iran has the most powerful air attack defense system, which is called S-400, and they deactivated it before
Mhm.
the attack. And he says that both parties allegedly agreed upon the targets that were going to be hit, so that it would do like minimum damage to, of course, the civilian population, but also their actual nuclear um, facilities. So let's ask, why did Iran not use their powerful defense system S-400 against this attack?
Mhm. King of Swords, Page of Sword, agreement, verbal agreement, and we have Six of Swords. So it's really an intent to move to calmer water, to set peace. So it's not an attempt to win or to, it's not a power game. It's more of to move towards peace. And apparently there is um, some kind of bad feelings that are needed to be able to move to a new agreement. So I
Mm.
think this is what was needed. So all the people would be on board with just calling it a day and just agreeing on peace.
Okay. And interesting because Trump did say that Iran and Israel would end up signing a peace treaty, a peace agreement. So, can we ask the cards, will they indeed sign this peace agreement?
Okay. So they have learned that they cannot work in their own corners. So we have the independence and we have the Ten of Swords. So I think it means that they have learned that they need each other, but they didn't want to sound it like they are depending or that they are weak. So we do see that there is going to be calm and peace and an agreement. Yes.
Yeah, these are like the two cards that talk about this peace agreement, in my opinion, like the most powerful ones. Wow. Okay. And Trump did mention the expression "make Middle East great again," which I thought was interesting because we've been talking so much about the Middle East and how powerful it really is energetically, spiritually, has like a very powerful vortex. So why did Trump say make Middle East great again? Like, what does he actually mean by that?
Okay, so the first card is a card of Eight of Swords, so limitations. So we can see that there is a lot of people trying to control, and there is a lot of people trying to just survive also in the civilians. So to make it great again, it's to have more peace and to. So it's funny because with this, it talks about tourisms. It talks about how it's supposed to be a place where now we can get over just having wars
Mhm.
and wanting to have like a good day to day, not maybe changing all of the politics from day one to day two, but just to say that people can start to have a more normal day and having tourism again. So to get out of this survival, to get out of this power wars, and to be able to move into a normal life there.
Wow. And you mentioned tourism, which is interesting because I believe like we're meant, like a lot of us are meant to go to Middle East to be activated in some kind of way. So can we ask the cards, um, in the end of this, let's say conflict, or let's call it a transformation, because I believe that's what it is. Like, will we be able to travel more to the Middle East in order to get spiritually activated by those sacred sites or vortices of energy?
We have a long road ahead,
Okay.
but We can see that there is going to be interest in building hotels and places bigger in the bigger cities. So we have the tourisms again. It's a long road before it's going to be starting.
Yeah. Okay. And last question on this topic. So this is kind of what Alexi was talking about. Like, he believes in his video that Iran is heading towards a less conservative political leadership, and that's kind of what it needed, and that's kind of also what the cards are saying, if I'm not mistaken, that this conflict is being needed in order to change things. So can we ask the cards, like, is Iran indeed heading towards a less conservative political leadership? Maybe more freedom for women, let's hope.
Yeah, it says freedom of the voice. So we have freedom. It says movement, delivery with throat chakra. We have right now there is a lot of different idea on what it should be, but the card of purge once more is just to say that this is going to be something that needs to change anyway, and it will happen. It will happen. It's just that not everybody will be on board with it. Grief and purge are there. You cannot take it with you. That's the card that we have there. To see this card of you cannot take it with you, it's almost like the leaders who want to have a more conservator kind of country are not having a lot of support anymore. Okay. And it's almost like they are being pushed out of the way slowly.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Thank you so much. So if you are watching this, don't buy into the fear-mongering theory that we're headed towards World War III. Far from it. Things are getting better. But we're in this Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune square, which is all about like the old versus the new. So there's a friction, there is an unavoidable tension between that, but it's going to lead to more peace. So let's stand by that. Okay. No, this is not what I wanted to do. Okay, I wanted to share a video with you guys. Just give me 2 seconds, which was sent to me by Tim. Let's hope I'm gonna be able to do that. Okay, I think I got it.
Young Americans across the country get to see all.
Okay, we have it. Let's listen to it.
As young Americans across the country get to see all of the amazing things that the Army has done, whether it's helping with floods in North Carolina or wildfires in California, or we talked to an astronaut yesterday who's on the moon, who's a soldier.
What did he say?
Including actually going to war and fighting to.
Okay, so he did say an astronaut soldier who's on the moon right now. Okay, so that's kind of fishy because we would think that we would know about this kind of thing because it's kind of a big thing. So he said that on Fox News. So thank you, Tim, for sending over the video. Let's ask the cards. Is it true? Are there astronauts, soldiers on the moon right now?
Touch of Evil is the card. Enabler. Awakening. Dark Knight. Yes. Absolutely. It says that they have, well, we know it, right? They have a place there where they can absolutely receive a lot of people if they need to. So yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's first ask, like, are they American soldiers? Like, let's start there.
It says Knight of Wands. I would say yes.
Okay, so they're defending. Oh, Knight of Wands. So it's like the soldier card.
It's the soldier card. Yes.
Okay, what are they doing there on the moon? What's their mission?
Judgment, Queen of Cup, King of Wands, King of Pentacle, and the Two of Wands. They are surveilling everything. They are watching everything, and it's like a very big place for politics and a very big place to make treaties, to make diplomats are there. But this kind of soldier is there to just make sure that there is no problem going on, make sure that everybody is kind of safe in a sense. overseeing.
Okay. Like the diplomats, the treaties, and all the movement that is there.
And overseeing also everything.
Okay. Can we ask, like, what kind of treaties are being signed on the moon? Like, I'm assuming it's off-world with Earth, but let's just ask.
Yeah. The Emperor, 7 of Wands, the Strength, the 2 of Cups, which is the agreement, the Hangman, and the Magician. It's all kinds, to be honest. I think it's all of the more of a deeper state, I would say, that goes there, and have access to just overseeing a lot of what is going on. I don't have so far off-worlders, but I would assume it is the case too. Is it just for people who are overseeing what is going on planet Earth, or do we have off-world? It's mainly, I would say, the protection or alliances. I don't know how to use that word. Can you say that word for me, please?
Alliances.
Thank you. Someday I will learn. So it's more for this, and off-world, I don't have a lot of it.
So maybe it's more like earthbound secret stuff, because you had the High Priestess too. So it seems like when they want to hide and sign treaties, this is where, okay. Can we ask, like, is it more like dark hats operation, like deep state, because you mentioned deep state, or is it also like the light side of things, which many people call them white hats? Like, is it the good people, the bad people that are on the moon? Is this a mix of everything?
Let's see. The world, so far it's a mix of everything. We have the Emperor again. We have the Hangman, the Moon, 6 of Pentacles. 6 of Pentacles says it's a mix of everything. The world says it's a mix of everything. It's really a place where it's neutral.
Okay. And am I right to say, like, many governments from Earth are meeting there? Because we have, like, Emperor, which to me is like government and world.
Absolutely. But I would say it's also who rules over them that goes there.
Yeah, the moon, like the secret powers.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Let us know what you think. I'm sure you guys are going to have lots of comments on that. And we love to read your comments, by the way. So thank you for liking this video, subscribing, and also for commenting down below. Okay, next up, we're going to talk about the solstice. So this week, so we're already on the 17th of June. So if I go to my calendar here, Mars enters Virgo today. So let's go to the 20th, which is this Friday. We're going to have the sun enter Cancer. And here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're going to have the summer solstice, which is Litha in pagan tradition. And if you're on the Southern Hemisphere, you're going to have the winter solstice. So here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's the longest day of the year. This is like a celebration of the sun. The sun is at its peak. It is very exciting. So we also, you pull cards, and I believe it was in the last one last week, or is it the weekly? I'm unsure now. But you did say that it was really good to go under the sun, get the sunlight, because we were going to get activated, upgraded in terms of consciousness, DNA. So let's start here. I have many questions on the solstice because I think this is a very sacred and special day. It's a very important marker in our lives, the solstice. And let's start there. So we know that many ancient buildings are built and oriented so that we can see the solstices or equinoxes in the best way possible, because these are the markers of time that we have on Earth between the sun and the Earth. So let's start there. Why did many ancient buildings orient their buildings so that the solstices and equinox could be seen in the best possible way? So what's the reason for giving so much importance to solstices and equinoxes for those buildings?
It's a sign of good luck. It's a sign of it's almost like we are making an offer to the sun at that date. So it's almost like we are paying our respect by doing it. And the sun is able, from what I can tell, the sun is able to receive this offer of, let's say, admiration and love by having those building in his honor. And it's almost like the sun is going to do more, or we are thinking that it's going to do more for us, more good luck, and because we are making an offer. So by making the sun having a lot more of influence and a lot more visibility on certain buildings and constructions, yeah, it's almost like a pilgrimage.
So by making that offering, it's allowing the sun to gain even more, like the good qualities of the sun to gain even more power on Earth.
Absolutely. So we have the Chariot, that is a second card. So the Chariot makes things move forward more clearly, more easily, more strongly. So I would say that the belief was that we are welcoming this energy with open arms. We are honoring it, and we want to have the best out of it. So we are making structures that are going to honor it in the best way possible, so we get the best in return.
I love that. I love that. Okay, let's ask, what's the power of the summer solstice, which is also called Litha in pagan tradition? And generally speaking, what's the power of the summer solstice?
I love the card. So we go from the card of being passive, which was a surprise, but I understand the first card is more of the past, to see the transition. And then we have big offer. And we have the key, which is revelation, achievement, new perspective. And we have the answer is yes. So it's basically getting a big green light in life in whatever you are going to want to achieve. And also with your astrology, of course, if you see what aspect of your life is under this influence, it can really help you to, the magician, just manifest, create, receiving blessings, just good luck in general. Very much the energy of Jupiter on this one. I think it's almost like we are asking the universe, this is what I want, help me with this one, and you get your wish coming true with this.
Wow, so a big manifestation portal. And it's interesting you mentioned Jupiter, because this year it's going to be very special because it coincides with, we're going to have a new moon very close to the solstice in the sign of Cancer on the planet Jupiter. So this year particularly, we're going to have the energy of Jupiter beaming into the solstice, and this a new moon activating both the solstice and the Jupiter entry in Cancer. So can we ask, what's different about this year's solstice?
Okay. Yeah, it's all about self-worth, being admired. So we talked about how 2025 is such a good year for our soul mission, for personal achievement, to go to new levels of your power, your skills, your mission. So all of this is just making giant leap in with the solar solstice. It's making giant leap in this path if you are willing to do the work and if you have manifested it. But it's almost like you can achieve anything, truly. I think also it's very easy to feel connected with the universe at that time, because there is such a beautiful energy of feeling loved by the universe at that moment. And sometimes we are going to feel this because things are going in our favor, because we feel seen and we feel heard. But it's almost as if we're not going to feel like we are, we're feeling united. We're feeling like we are just all in this together, and feeling like we are one with Source, with this very powerful solar activation, I would say, this year.
Wow. And yeah, it's an activation of the light, so the consciousness expands even more, and that's also Jupiter, the expansion of consciousness. So And because I know that some of you are watching from the Southern Hemisphere, so I don't want to let you guys behind, because you guys are going to have the winter solstice, where it's the day where you get the least amount of light, but it's also opening a new chapter where you're going to get more light every day until the next solstice. So let's ask the cards, like, what do the summer solstice and the winter solstice have in common? Because both are like peak points, as we can see here on the Earth position. One is like the most, the maximum amount of light that we get in the year. The other is the least. What do they get in common as far as energetical portals?
Yeah, it's a big review on what do you want to manifest. So it's almost like a new year energy. So it's another point during the year where you get to really ask for, okay, this is what I want next. And almost like a check where you really have to see, okay, this is what I need, this is what I want, and this is my aim for the next 2 months, 3 months. So we have reinvention, we have another mirror. So it's 2 mirrors. That is also confirmation that if you don't do the work, you're not going to get the rewards. It's really about helping each other. So universe is helping you if you do the work. If you are not, the universe is going to reflect on you more of challenges to make you grow, because we always have to grow, but it's either true, I do the work, so I just need to have the opportunities, or I don't do the work and I need challenges.
Right. Wow, that makes a lot of sense. And last question on this subject, what type of ritual or practice can we do around the solstice on the 20th so that it can help with the light gain even more momentum in the world?
Very yellow card. It says miracle. I would say to spend a lot of time with the people who are making you feel good, and to remove everything that is not making you feel good in your life. So spend that day either, yes, under the sun, because we know in tarot, yellow is the sun energy. Expect miracle, and really surround yourself by a good vibration, a good energy. Remove, if only on that day it's going to be already good, but remove as much as possible what makes you not feel in that space of everything is moving forward, everything feels good. And yes, just this vibration of love, this vibration of feeling powerful and happy.
Wow, I love that. And if you are in Europe, or if you have, let's say, if you're forward in the time zones, I just want to say that it will be likely on the 21st of June. So for the Eastern time zone, it's on the 20th, but it's at the very end of the day, so 11-ish p.m. So it might be the 21st for you if you are in Europe. All right. Well, if you'd like to book your one-on-one consultation with this amazing oracle, Sophie, where are you at in your bookings? What's up? What's going on? And what are most people booking about these days?
Yes, so I have a mix of pre-records and a mix of 1-hour appointments. I keep adding some dates, so always check on the schedule because it's the summer. So I go with adding some whenever I'm in town. Right now, there's a lot of emphasis on moving, on house, I would say. And travel and house is the foundation. And I think this is because of the big influence that we have in the astrology.
Yeah.
And I want to say that this is helping a lot if you have your foundation figured out, because you can start building on it. So yes, keep looking at the schedule, because I keep adding dates whenever I can. And you can have an appointment sometimes very soon.
Awesome. And yeah, this is definitely Jupiter in Cancer. Wow. And you're so right. Like, I saw a energy worker in Dominican Republic, a shaman. This is the word I was looking for. And she told me, like, he cannot build on the ground where you're not taking care of the land. If you're not taking care of your own foundation, you're not taking care of yourself. And having like a place of safety is so important to start building. So I feel like a lot of us are going to be let's say, rethinking, reviewing options about like place of living, security, foundations. And if you'd like to book with Sophie, don't forget your code Jupiter to get 10% off your next reading, either on the per record, on the 30-minute per record that you're going to be sent a video private link through email, which is about a 2-week delay, and a 1-hour live reading. We have the past live and the tarot reading. So the link is down below. All right, next up, let's dive a little bit into mysteries. And I have an interesting question here from Michelle on the community. And by the way, if you'd like to ask your own questions, you are, of course, very, very welcome to do so on our free community. So I'll put the link down below if you'd like to join this community. And this is where I go to get your own questions. All right, so Michelle is saying, years ago when the DaVinci Code books and movies came out, myself and others had a profound energetic experience of watching the movie, and not in a good way. She said, my girlfriend, I hope I'm going to say that right, projectile vomited in the movie theater. So yeah, very visceral negative reactions. Yes, indeed. So she says, I would love to know if there was any dark energetic coding in the book and movies that was meant to ignite something satanic on humanity. Let's ask the cards. Was it meant to activate something dark within humanity?
We have the train.
I was like, what's that sound? Did you change your phone ring?
We have a train. I'm sorry about that, guys.
That's the joy about like filming on different location, right?
When it's not the plane, it's the train.
Well, maybe it's a message for the reading. Let's see. And she says also in her question, just before you go, and knowing also what we know now about Tom Hanks, which is the lead actor in DaVinci Code, I wouldn't be surprised. So we know that he's linked to very dark stuff.
Yeah, for sure. The activation, I don't have it in the cards. The card seems to be somewhat good with it. I'm not saying that all about it is good, but I don't see the worst card that I would have thought would be there for that question. So I think I'm going to go quickly about seeing from another angle. I'm just going to check what is the vibration of that otter, maybe the Dan Brown.
Or let's go with that piece more specifically, the DaVinci Code.
What's the energy of the DaVinci Code? The book and the movie. It's really not horrible, honestly. So I have separation and soulmates. And that means, I think it's talking about Jesus and Mary Magdalene. And we have guides and justice. So far, it's really not negative. So that could have been something that was coming from her past life. That could have been something, a reaction caused by it. That could have been something that was in the theater, also some bad energies there.
Don't you think like the separation soulmate cards like would talk about like spreading a false background history on Mary Magdalene and Jesus? Like,
I think it's to start a conversation. The cards are really not, and I'm really open about the topic. I have no preconceived. So we have 2 of Cups. Again, that's underneath the soulmate and the separation. That's the 2 of them. The King of Cups, judgment. So trying to awaken different alternative than what the church is saying. So
So like ignite curiosity that we might have not been told everything that there is.
We have not been told everything that there is. That's for sure. Because that was only to start the conversation.
Okay.
The Knight of One.
I'm sorry. Did you have something else to say?
It's that one seems to be more about Mary Magdalene and Jesus than anything else, and I'm surprised to see those cards.
In what sense surprised? Because it seems like to be the focal point of this movie.
Okay. Okay, maybe my memory is not in that.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm asking, why are you saying you're surprised about it?
I'm just surprised about it because, well, it's been a very, very long time that I watched that movie, and from my memory was more about that Dan Brown movies and books are more about the Freemason and things like that, and secret codes. And looking at the card, the really big focus was Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and we seem to be in that era where we want to reestablish some kind of balance between the two genders.
Okay. Wow. Because I do remember at some point in the movie, they were talking about la dernière scène,
The last scene.
the last scene. Thank you. And now it's cropped out of the photo, but on the other side of Jesus, there was the 13 apostle, which is Mary Magdalene, and I believe they were talking about that in either the book or the movie or both, because I read it back in the days. So like a big focal point was that Mary Magdalene was a bigger character than the church said she was, and not only like a sinner, but rather like a very big part, like the apostle of the apostles.
And 13 is the number of the divine feminine, right?
Right. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Let's ask the cards, like, was this movie, book, like, let's say, piece of Dan Brown's art, like, was it meant to awaken some truths about the real Mary Magdalene story and the divine feminine part of history?
Ooh. Yes, absolutely. It's meant to remove okay, that could have been something that could have affected those people watching that had a bad energy from it, but it's not coming from the book or the movie. It's coming from church. So it's basically saying that the feminine energy has been completely hijacked from what really happened, and from the nature and the balance of things. And we have the card of the devil right there. So I think that what it means is that we are meant to be rebalancing the two energies, and that movie was trying to start a conversation, like we saw. So the bad energy could come from a backlash or a reaction, negative reaction from, I would say, those who are controlling that narrative of what is the place of the feminine. Because we can see here the masculine is very independent and everything is going on really well. The feminine is not independent and strong. We do see here that it's being enslaved. We have the chains right there. Yeah. And we have the reptilian right there. So I think it's to
they removed like the important part about like how important she was in the story. And you got the devil card, which is like the obsession card, which to me means like they reversed everything upside down, and this is what the dark side does. Like, so they turned her into a prostitute, and obviously she was not. She was like a divine counterpart to Jesus. Wow. Okay, interesting. Let us know what you think. And I'm going to move to our next question by Angeline. So she's asking, why do hotels and schools always have haunted stories? Why do these places attract such energies? So we're talking about hotels and schools.
Well, it says family room. So it talks about how those rooms have a very big influences on their lives, and how personal things can play a part in those places, meaning that you spend time there and this place means something to you. So there's an energy impact and a memory that is linked with that place, so that it is residual energy or that is active energy. I think that it's a space that you either sleep in for an hotel or that you travel. So there's a memory, there's a lot of energies there, emotions, or if you learn school, there's a lot of your life that's going to be impacted by your school. There's a lot of memories that are coming from school years. But it says that the impact of the emotion on those walls, on what is going on within the walls, is going to impact the vibration of it afterwards. Residual is a big part.
Because like when the emotional energy is stronger, it creates more like timestamps of memories or vortices of energy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that makes sense. Okay, for our next question in this category and our last one. So I was being sent this, and it's a screenshot I took from a video where someone takes a euro bill and puts it next to a mirror, so that we can see this sort of very dark picture forming. So let's ask, is it a coincidence that the euro bill features a demonic figure when put against a mirror? Is it a coincidence?
No.
I don't believe so.
No.
I was gonna say there's no such thing as coincidences, but just for the sake of asking.
No, absolutely not. It says it's a spell to block people from having abundance on their own independence.
Oh, wow.
So it's on the money. So it always go back to the people who own the place.
Wow. Okay. And let's talk about the European Union, because I was going to say Europe, but it's not all Europe countries who have the euro. So will the people in the European Union will they be freed from that spell at some point in the near future?
Good news is a card. So yes. Yeah, it says that you can absolutely free one by one, holding it by saying something out loud, like you don't
Give your consent.
Give your consent, yes, thank you, to this spell. You don't give your consent to having bad energies. You can say it in your words, just so it matters that it's not affecting you in a negative way. So with your words, it removes it, at least from this bill.
Okay. Wow, this is so important. I hope you guys from the European Union are listening closely. And do we have, like, let's say in America, do we have like similar spells on our dollar bills?
It says yes. Well, United States, it says yes, because we have the I on the United States bill. So tell us in a comment which one, because I don't know. But there is symbologies that are representing the same thing, and it has the same intent why it's there, to put a spell on some of some kind on the people holding it.
Okay.
So they would not be independent, and that the money would always go back to the owners.
The top of the pyramid that we can see on the US dollar bill. Wow. Let us know in the comments. I'm sure you guys will have like a really good way of verbalizing this. I do not give my consent, so that we can share with everybody watching, so that we can free our money, free our energy from the all-seeing eye, like the bad one. All right, we're going to talk about a little bit about AI and technology, because of course this is gaining a lot of power and momentum these days. And I have an interesting question here from Angeline. So I just summed up a little bit of the question so it's more precise for the cards. So does watching TV or movies siphon the energy from a human being? So does watching TV or movies siphon the energy from a human being?
I would say yes, in a sense, because we have mute and recharging, so it prevents from recharging, especially if it's during the day, because we're supposed to be more outside. So watching TV in the evening is less damaging, that word. But during the day, you're not supposed to watch TV. You're supposed to try to be outside as much as you can. It's already hard, so don't add to the difficulty. So why we have mute is just because of what is inside of the TV programs and movies most of the time are already programmed, and it's all things that are keeping us in the loop. And we can reclaim our freedom by being more in the sun, by being more outside, by recharging, being at peace, and not letting this affect our energy and our programming, because we all have one programming, one way or another. So if you are choosing your own programming and you're empowering your own subconscious to your own belief that you want, instead of being fed belief from the TV, this is what we want. So yes, it's affecting.
And I know there's a lot of different nuances about like the type of content you can be watching. And I know a lot of it from Netflix has, let's say, an agenda behind it, but let's say there are other content creators. So let's just ask, let's say, and what if we're watching, let's say, content like this show that we are choosing because it aligns with our values, it aligns with our sense of curiosity, of purpose. So what about this type of content that we're watching on our TV or phone?
So we have the card of the portal, this is the mirror, and we have the card of positivity and blooming. So if it's content, so you are opening up, so you are expanding, so you are in this vibration that you're choosing that is positive, then in that case, it's a very good thing. But this is opening a portal where you match the frequency that you're being shown. So if it's a vibration of fear, you're going to open up a portal for things of fear, and you're going to match that frequency. If it's good things, you're going to match that frequency. So always be aware how you're feeling, and just tune in or tune out to different things.
It's crazy because just a personal side story. Recently, I decided that I was no longer going to watch any movie that presents love as being like, let's say, people cheating, complicated stories, bad stories, because it's programming our subconscious. And there's a lot of it. Like most stuff on, let's say, movies on or series on Netflix are about cheating, about deceiving, lying, murder even. So let's say if we can spare ourselves of that frequency, we can create with a more let's say a higher frequency for sure. Okay, next question. So we know, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there is a lot of content these days that is AI generated. So I know like there has been like tons and tons of video on YouTube talking about how you and I can just start a faceless channel using AI, making tons of money. So it's interesting. I came across this post from Laura Matsui, and she's talking about currently it's estimated that half of the content we read online is AI generated. And this is expected to increase to nearly 90% over the next few years. Those who know can already see it. Everyone's voices have also begun to sound eerily similar due to this exponential rise of AI generated content. So if you are watching, let's say, YouTube videos, Instagram posts, a lot of it is generated from AI, which to me, let's say, start an interesting, situation, because where everything looks the same, perfect, the perfect voices, nobody is looking for their words because it's AI, right? It makes it less human. And we know like this is how we connect with content creators, because no, they're not perfect. They're just like you and I, they're human. So, you and I, we stumble on our words, like we're looking for words all the time, but like, that's what makes us human, I believe, right?
I hope so, because otherwise it's for nothing.
Yeah. So like my question is, as like we're getting more and more like perfect AI content, I feel like people are gonna be more and more attracted to the human content, like the true content creators that are created from their own personal original creation, and not just like repeating and doing like things perfectly with AI voices and stuff. So
we're going to probably lose a skill too eventually. Everything that is replaced by something automatic or AI or anything in history, we always have AI in history, no, but like automatic, we always lose the skills.
but I don't believe creation can be lost. It's like our humanness.
You can lose maybe not the motivation, but you can lose maybe the sense of what you're doing is enough, because everything will be perfect.
Yeah, but that's it, you know, like I'm watching perfect videos from AI voices and stuff, and I'm like, this is so boring. And it's like a repeating station from another copied video or text or AI generated text, which is not, to me, like, it lacks depth, it lacks humanness, it lacks true creation and true original ideas.
Yeah.
So can we ask the cards? I'm very curious about that. With so much content being now generated with AI, will humans value even more imperfection and human generated content in the near future? In other words, are we going to become more popular or not? No, I'm just kidding. But like, are we?
I will play my part. I will do lots of mistakes with my words. Okay.
Yeah. So well, I was just kidding, but let's just ask the cards, like, will humans value even more human generated content in the near future?
It says that for a time, AI is going to be what people are going to want. For a time, yeah, it's like it's like the plastic surgery of videos. So for a time, people are going to want to have this.
Surgery of videos. This is such a good analogy, though. And at some point, like, everybody's tired of it, and they're removing their implants, and they're trying to invert what they've done.
Yeah, to a point where people are going to go to an extreme, and then it's going to be stopped. Then we're going to want to have, it says fake. We're going to want to have the human one. So, because it's going to go too far, but we need to go too far before it stopped. So I'm just going to bring those cards again.
Whoa, but that makes sense. It's like every trend goes this way. It goes like to the extent of it, and then people get back their sense of and rationality, and they're like, oh, that's too much. So yeah.
So we're going to be less popular. So thank you for watching Two Flawed Human Beings.
Thank you. Let us know what you think, and thank you for your support for these very flawed human beings. But we're here with our love and our creation for you guys. Okay, next one about AI companions, and it's so interesting because the same Laura that I was showing you did a huge post on that, I think a few years ago, and she said that the next trend with Pluto in Aquarius is that people were going to turn towards AI friends and relationships, because it's far easier to idealize someone who's perfect than to deal with your own stuff, right? Because like the other human you're in a relationship with is a mirror to your what's the word, wounds, imperfections, and it's a trigger for shadow work, right? So here in this article, they're talking about AI friends are not your friends. Here's why. So it says science fiction prepared us for AI friends through films like Her and Robot and Frank. Now that fictional portrayal is becoming a reality. So let's go here. Will more people feeling lonely, and that's also very much of an epidemic, turn to AI companions?
Yes. So the ED card is very interesting, because I feel that this means that more and more people will feel like they are so different, that nobody can understand them, and that they are apart. that they don't have any kind of place where they belong or group where they belong. So I think that this is going to be tougher and tougher for people to not go into the AI. And we do have the spiritual path that is waiting, but it's just a road that is not for everybody, because it requires you to work on yourself and to have discipline. So the AI is really going to bloom in that sense. Yes.
Okay, wow, that's crazy. And what will be the consequences of this on our social habits and social structures? Let's say I'm assuming that it's going to evolve at some point and people are going to date like human looking people, but they're going to be AI, just like in movies and stuff. So what's the consequences on our social structure?
So I have 6 cards. I have the 7 of Swords, the Empress, the 4 of Cups. Then I have the 10 of Wands, Ace of Pentacle, and the Hangman. First of all, it's going to not be free. So you're going to have to pay for it. It's going to become a service. You're not
like
going
an escort, but like an AI escort. Wow.
Well, AI everything, a friend, like you're going to have to pay for friendship. You're going to have to pay to not feel like you're alone in the world. And the 7 of Swords means that your data is going to be not safe, first of all. And it says that it's going to prevent people from going outside to get communities and friendship and real relationship, real love, real connection. People are going to work more to be able to pay for it. That is a worst case scenario, of course, but this is where right now, if nothing changed, we are possibly headed. Not everybody will go into that trap, but the goal here is to stay in the 3D world, not to go too far into the AI, the fake, and the non-visual,
The escapism tendencies.
Yeah, so this is the other side of the spirituality, because I think it's meant to achieve the same thing, just like I won't say that word, but the substances that we could take to escape reality. So I think it's the same thing. It's just another trend of it to escape reality. Spirituality is the healthier side of it. So you're reconnecting with source, you're reconnecting with source in practices, in meditation, in practices of spirituality of any kind, really. But with this one, it's going to make you dependent, and it's going to make you have to pay. So it's another kind of word that I cannot say. Another kind of substances that it makes you leave reality. There could be rehabilitation center in the future for that.
Yeah, that makes sense, because just like as other substances, it can be, and I'm going to say it because I don't care, an addiction. Okay, wow, thank you. That's crazy, and let us know what you think, but that's also makes a lot of sense, sadly. So that was a while ago, but I forgot to talk about it because we had so many other subjects. So it says here on this article from Zero Hedge, first driverless heavy-duty trucking service launched on U.S. public roads, and that was back in May. So now there are some AI-driven trucks on the roads of the United States, which is crazy, if you ask me. Can we ask the cards what will be the outcome of this project?
And it's in Texas.
It starts in Texas, yes.
Okay. So Texas, they can drive and be on their phone at the same time?
Well, most states, I believe.
Most states? Okay.
Yeah, because I've seen that in other states also. So
okay.
It says here, Pennsylvania-based Aurora Innovation Inc. has launched commercial self-driving truck service in the state of Texas. So it's mainly between Dallas and Houston, starting in May. So I believe maybe it has spreaded since then.
Okay.
So what will be the outcome of this project?
I don't like the card that I have. So let's see the second row. It shifts the economy. It shifts the economy, and it adds pressure on the economy for the middle class, for sure. So the
Not
impact,
in a good way.
not in a good way. So I was thinking the impact would be safety on the road. It's more about the money. It's more about the economy side
And
of
they don't
it.
have to pay the drivers, so it's less jobs, and it's cheaper for the companies, right?
Yeah. And it says that they can have surveillance camera on them, so they can be also a part of just even more surveillance. They have also a lot of things in them that can be considered as risky transport, risky, so people or things that are not really good. Um, it's really bad so far what I'm seeing, but the safety on the road is not a concern through the cards.
Yeah, of course. And they make it seem like it's the main concern, but it's not. But what do you mean by risky? So it's going to be said to be riskier to have a human drive a truck? Is that what you're saying?
No, 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 no. The safety on the road is not a concern through the card. It's really what they are transporting that is going to be interesting because they won't have a witness really,
Ah, gotcha.
and they
Okay.
don't stop. So we have a lot of interesting cards. Let me just show you those cards here. Off world, world.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we ask, like, will this service be used to transport off-worlder or products from off-world?
It
Let's
says
go crazy.
many things. Like I'm sorry guys if you're triggered by what I'm about to say, but those are the words that I have to say according to the cards. So you have a warning. Body parts, people. There is also regular things, but there is also a lot of things that they don't want to have witnesses.
Like organs and stuff, like replacement organs. Okay.
I'm disgusted by it.
Oh, wow. And can this be stopped, like this whole, let's say, traffic of weird stuff?
Yes. Absolutely. Somebody needs to be made aware of what is going on, and then there will be control and really big limitation on it. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think there is already people that are going to be watching very closely. But so far, because it's new, I think that there is no regulation and we don't have the right system to oversee what is going on, just like any type of new things. But for sure, the plan so far is to abuse it in a bad way.
Oof. This is
Yeah.
crazy. And will Trump be aware of it and stop it? Is he the guy who's gonna do something about it?
Yeah, we have the key and we have Trump right there. Absolutely. It's just that right now we have a delay for some reason. So maybe more research, maybe something is going on where they need to have proof. But yes, there is going to be rules and regulation in stopping them.
Well, let's hope so, because this seems very, very dark. And I wasn't expecting that as an answer at all when I asked about this service. I thought about like road safety and like maybe less job opportunities for Americans. But wow, this
So
is blowing my mind.
let's just be clear. It's not the two of them, the two meaning the technology and what we saw in the negative way are not necessarily coming together all the time. It's just that there is people who have seen the opportunity since there is no regulation yet. So it's not to hate it per se all the time. It's just we don't like the lack of economy, that's for sure. But I don't think this thing on its own is a devil. It's just that how it's being
It's
really bad.
being used because it presents a loophole of some kind.
Mhm.
And it makes sense what you're saying, like they don't have witnesses about what they carry. So it's like the people driving the trucks have like an let's say, an ethics of some kind, a professional ethics, but like if it's AI, they don't. So
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Hopefully they have a conscience. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a really good news to know that it's going to be stopped very soon. And as you say, like when something is new, they don't have lots of regulations, and then hopefully it will not spread to other states. Woof. Okay, great show. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Do make sure you like the video. It really helps us into growing our own channel, and it takes a lot of research to do those episodes, but we love to do it together for you guys. So do make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube, on Rumble, and also we will, of course, be putting another one next week. And until then, we also are filming the new weekly on Mondays at noon p.m. Eastern. So do make sure you watch that, because it's going to be like a good side show for astrology and the energies as well. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Sophie, for all your beautiful wisdom. Wishing you a beautiful solstice and a beautiful week, and sending you much love. Bye.